Hey everybody, I think I got this figured out. I don't go live on Facebook very much anymore, and I'm on Todd's computer and blah, blah, blah. There were some issues, but I think I'm live. Whoop, whoop. Yay. Okay, so let's do this. We're talking about rebooting. Like, honestly, if anyone could say that they're like totally fine and they're doing amazing after spending almost 2.5 months or whatever at home by yourself, or with your kids or your spouse or whatever, they're not telling the truth. Like, no one's fine right now. Like, let's be real. People are struggling. People are scared. People are not just about the virus, but about life, about the economy, about their job and their personal security, about when life is going to get back to normal. There's just a lot of stuff going on. And when you spend so much time at home, you fall into traps of eating 24/7, of just allowing yourself to indulge and eat bad things you wouldn't normally eat, staying up too late, consuming too much, like watching too many videos, binge watching on Netflix, that sort of thing. We can all fall into this, and it can really create a bad place for you mentally and in your spirit. Like, you can really sink into just a funk or a full-on depression. Mental health right now is at an all-time low, I think, worldwide, with everything that's going on. So this is a really important discussion, because you're not going to be able to build a successful business. You're not going to be able to make money, generate leads, do any of that stuff if you're in a funk. So we have to, if you felt the funk sometime during this quarantine, let me know, because I feel like this is a really important discussion, and I'd love to hear from you guys. Hey, Renee, Kayla, Tiffany, Zia, welcome. Sean, hey. Let me know if you felt any of that, because I mean, the numbers that I've seen are really scary when it comes to mental health right now and everything. So, oh, okay, it's just not scrolling for me. There we go. Good morning. So yeah, people are struggling. Let's be real, right? You're not in a regular schedule. Things are just crazy. Yes, L7. It is kind of out there, but it's doable. We proved it. And Diane proved it initially, and we followed suit. So yeah, so most of us are, if not in a full-out funk, like there's a little bit of funkiness going on. Let's be real. So what do we do? Like, if you find yourself in a funk, you're eating bad things, you're eating all the time, you're not on a good sleep schedule, you're not getting active and exercising enough, you're not, you're consuming too much. Well, I had to take a step back myself, because I was definitely feeling it. Like, I was still doing I was doing a lot of healthy things, but I found myself just not joyful. Right? Not that I was depressed, not that I just wasn't as joyful as I should be, like as I like to be, as I work to be. And I had to sit back and I had to realize I am consuming way too much. Like, that was one of the things that I realized, is that I was watching stuff on my phone, and I was watching this and that, and it was way too much. Like, that's other people putting their messaging into your brain. Like, when you consume content on Netflix, on Prime, Hulu, whatever, like, I had to realize, like, what is the point? I enjoy it, I like it, but what is that doing to my mental health? What is the messaging that I'm receiving during that? And I made a conscious decision that unless I see a positive message that can help me, whether that's showing me someone else's maybe someone else's perspective that I wouldn't experience in real life, which I've definitely watched some documentaries and things that have opened my eyes to stuff in the world I would never have known about. That's a positive thing. Whether it's showing someone who's really inspiring and done something amazing, they're brave or they're courageous, or they've just created an empire, they've done something, in business or whatever. Like, those are all good messages that I am okay receiving. But I had to start putting up a filter, and like, if this doesn't feed my soul, if this doesn't feed my mind and my spirit, I don't need to watch it. Like, I shouldn't watch it, because if it's not feeding it, it's diminishing. It's like the whole slight edge curve. If you've ever read that book, The Slight Edge, where every action you take, it's not benign. Either an action is going to move you closer to what you want or further away from what you want. You just don't feel the effects quite yet, right? It's a very slow process. So I challenge you, when it comes to the content you are consuming, Netflix, Hulu, whatever, YouTube, are they things that you're growing from, that will help you grow and learn from? Or is it just pure entertainment? Is it something that just is a good story, right? Or, I mean, you honestly, you can grow. And I've been doing this with like TikTok and different things, looking at watching from a creator standpoint, where I'm learning, like, okay, look at how the angles are using, look at how they're telling the story, look at how they're positioning the camera and the different things that they're doing. That's still growing, right? But I challenge you to filter out everything that doesn't serve you. That doesn't help you grow closer to the person you want to become. Okay. Beyond that, what are the things that you need to do? And I'll give you guys mine. If you're on the call, you heard them, but I'll give you mine. But what are the things that you need to do? Like, do you know yourself well enough to know that I need to do X, Y, and Z every day to feel really good? Like, that it should be some form of moving your body. But for you, that might be, I have a friend that plays basketball, like has to every day for his mental health. He has to play basketball. For you, that might be going for a walk. That might be running. There's a lot of people, when they get into running and they have to get that run in, and it just feels so good for them. There should be some level of activity that's included in this for you. But what that level of activity is unique to you. Figure it out, right? For me, I need to get in some cardio. Like, so I like to ride bikes. So, and I live in a place where it's really, really easy. So I ride my bike every day. I need to do yoga. Otherwise, see, like this, like sitting at a computer, hunched over, I get all messed up, right? I know that. And so learning to hold my body the right way, to breathe deeply, to do those things, I feel better when I do yoga daily. I know that about myself. I also know that I need to lift some weights. Like, I used to be really heavy into weight training. You guys wouldn't believe I was super fit. Like, it was awesome. I used to be really big into weight training, and I love it. And I've been out of it for so long that I was just feeling weak. Like, I don't have time to really get, really jacked and, all that kind of stuff. But I just need to do a little bit so that my muscles feel solid, like, so they feel good. They can hold my body and I can feel strong as a person. I know that about myself. So those are actually 3 things that I should be doing every day to help me feel better. I also know I've got a huge supplement regimen that I do. I need to do different things for that during different parts of the day. I know that I need to fast 14 to 16 hours a day, sometimes 18 hours a day, depending on how things are going. I feel better when I fast. I feel worse if I munch and I have too much to eat, and I allow myself to eat all day long. I know that I feel bad. Ooh, red light therapy. That sounds good. I have a friend that lives in Alaska. She's got her happy light or whatever that she uses up there. So what are those things for you? I have to, and it's interesting. I'll disclose. So I'm Catholic, and I pray the rosary a lot. And I fell into the trap of just praying the rosary instead of also adding in meditative prayer. And I found that was just too busy, because there's specific things you do in a specific order and specific things you think about and meditate on during the rosary. Whereas I needed just some quiet time to talk to God, like some just chill, talk to God time. So I could organize my thoughts. I could focus my energy. I could just let him know it was in my heart. And that one thing, just making sure that I added that back in, was huge. Like, yes, I got this. He's got this, so I got this. We're fine. Like, totally, totally fine. So I needed to make sure that I had quiet, meditative time, that I could pray with God and just find peace, right? Focus on, remember the things that were important, remember the things that weren't important, Remember that God's got all of it anyway, and we're totally cool, right? That was key to me feeling better, to me even being able to have the energy to put together a schedule. And so that's what I did, guys. So I take those things, everything that I know that I need to do every day, and then I get out a piece of paper and I figure out how to make that happen. And honestly, I'm doing very little work because I'm doing schooling, I'm managing the household, I'm doing all these things added with the kids here all the time. And I don't have much time to work. And I've accepted that, and I've come, to focus on just the most important things that I have to do every day. But I set up a schedule. So basically for the first 3 hours of my day and the last 2 hours of my day, that I've got it really figured out. Like, I wake up, I jump out of bed, I get the kids breakfast, and then I head off and I start doing this. And then after that, I'm going to go do my bike ride for 45 minutes. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to drink 32 ounces of water. And then I'm going to do 20 minutes, something real quick and little weight training, right? So I do that. I have that figured out for the first 3 hours of my day. So I don't schedule anything during that time. And then at the end of the day, I know at 8 o'clock, I need to start getting ready transitioning into my nighttime routine, or I'm going to get to bed late, and then I'm not going to want to get up at 6. So, 8 o'clock, I'm actually doing, if you ever watch her on YouTube, Yoga with Adrienne. I'm doing one of her 30-day things to get back on track with yoga. So 8 o'clock, I start yoga, half hour-ish of yoga time. And then I get in the shower, start my bedtime routine, all this kind of stuff. So I can be in my bed by 9:30, do some reading, some journaling, some different things before I must sleep at 10. But if I let that 8 o'clock slip, which is so easy to do, especially when the kids are finally quiet and I could focus and get work done, that's when I know if I'm robbing my time from the next day. It's not free time at night. I have to change my mind and change my thinking it's just, I'm stealing time from a successful tomorrow if I stay up too late tonight. So, Sarah, you love Adrienne. I know, she's awesome. And she's in Austin, actually, where Brian and them are. So that's awesome. So during the day, from 9 a.m. until, I don't know, 8, right? It's pretty open. I've got a few things listed in there because I take supplements and do some things at specific times. But for the most part, that's just open. That's living lifetime. And I don't have it scheduled. And once we have kids back in school, once we have all these things in place, I could go back to having a full scheduled day and know that, from this time I'm engaging on social media, this time I'm creating scripts, and this time I'm, whatever. I can do that when my kids are back to school, when the world's back to normal a bit. But right now I know that that's just not going to happen. And trying to do that right now is not going to serve me because I will fail. It's just not possible. I need bullet points of the critical have to do's to keep food on the table stuff every day. And that's what I'm focusing on for business. And then I'm focusing on our kids and our family and just being healthy and being well so that, heaven forbid, we do get sick, we can bounce back easy. We've got a great immune system, but that we're not harming our overall wellness and our lifespan by sinking into a depression and not taking care of ourselves right now. It's super important. So 3 hours and 2 hours, that is cool. Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Now, have you guys registered for Stacy tonight? You want to register. The links in the pinned comment, I believe, and in the caption. So make sure you get registered for tonight's webinar. Yes, Miracle Morning. Yeah, Hal Elrod. Yes, I was introduced to Hal at Live the Dream several years ago. He's awesome. Yeah, Miracle Morning. That's good stuff. Shorter time of each item to squeeze it in. Yeah, and that's the thing is, Tiffany, that's a really good point. What I see people do is that they're like, I want to start working out again, or I want to start eating right, or I want to start, and then they feel like they don't have the time to do 2 hours at the gym every day, and so they never start. And you're like, dude, if you had just done a little bit, just a little bit, all this time that you've been talking about wanting to get in shape or wanting to whatever, you know, if you had spent 20 minutes of working out every day since you started talking about wanting to get back in shape, you'd be in great shape. Like, but they, you know, it's the perfection is the enemy of good, right? Or whatever that, I'm butchering that, I'm pretty sure. But you know, good, it's just good enough, right? If you try to wait till things are perfect, right, especially right now, you're just gonna be waiting forever. Figure out something that's realistic that you can actually do. And doing that day after day is going to help you, because like I said, the slight edge curve, right? So if you take the example of someone who wants to get in shape or wants to whatever, and every day they just talk about doing it and they're not doing anything to better their health, they're not taking any action to you know, moving their body or anything like that. So there's, I'm going to see if I can do this backwards in the camera. So there's going along, but they're actually slowly, very slightly moving downward. Eventually, they're going to hit a very steep downward decline in their health, and that's when they have a heart attack. That's when, you know, and that might be 10 years down the road. But every day that they're not doing anything, they're just ever so slightly moving downward on that scale. Instead, they even 15 minutes of like an HIIT, high intensity interval training thing for 15 minutes a day during every single day, you're making a slight increase, right? You're going the other direction. And then one day, you know, that compound interest, if you will, takes off and you're just doing so much better. Yes, true, right. And that's part of my schedule is that I can't eat until 11. And I know that I need 16 hours of fasting. It's so hard right now when people are home all the time and we're emotional and we're not feeling good about things, so we want to eat. You know, any emotional eaters right now are really struggling and eating too much, and your health is so dependent. It's like, you know, being healthy is like 90% your diet and 10%. People say 80 and 20. I honestly think it's 90 and 10, diet to exercise. So creating some rules for yourself, writing them down. If you just think about eating healthier or think about eating more vegetables or doing whatever, nice, you thought about it. You didn't actually do it. It's not going to help you in any way. like put pen to paper, maybe sticky notes on your computer, something you're going to see it, and say, I will eat 3 servings of vegetables a day. Or for myself, I will have 1 plant-based meal a day where it's only plant, right? Or I will fast 16 hours a day. Like, create some rules for yourself and write it down, make it real, and tell people, like the people in your family, your household, your fitness buddy, whatever, make it real and something that you're actually going to stick to. Yeah. Results can be achieved with the focus in a short period of time. Absolutely. Ooh, rebounding. I'm supposed to be getting into that. I have been avoiding it. I need to get a nice rebounder. Actually, I don't have one. So I've been trying to do rebounding on a ball, like a whatever they're called, exercise ball. It's not as good. Intermittent fasting. Absolutely. Napoleon. Yes, it's amazing. Yes. So guys, I have to go figure out, I stuffed the children in a bedroom, told them they had to be quiet while I did this because they were loud on the call. So apologies if you heard some children on the call, but that's life right now. It just is what it is. I'm going to go check on them. You guys, will see you tonight at, get registered for the webinar. It's in the pinned comment. It's in the caption here. Stacy's got something really cool for you guys and you're going to love it. So get registered, and I'll see you tonight.